So now that we're aware of the directory structure that Codeception has created for us, we're going to go ahead and actually follow the third step of the quick start, which is to create our first tests. Now we're going to create all 4 of the types of tests that Codeception presents to us. So those are Cept, that's C-E-P-T, Cest, C-E-S-T, PHPUnit, that's your traditional PHPUnit standard tests, and then tests, as Codeception calls them, which are their implementation, so Codeception's implementation on top of PHPUnit, which just adds some additional stuff that we can use. So to begin with, we're going to just look at the syntax. We've got PHP Codecept.var. In our case, it's going to be PHP vendor /Codeception/Codeception/Codecept, then generate, then colon, the type of test that we're going to create, a suite name, so that actually relates to one of these folders, acceptance, functional, or unit. I mean, that can also be, say, API if you created a different suite, and then the name of the test. So if you're struggling on that, there's a reference document, commands, and then in here it will tell you how to create each one. So they like to use this suite syntax. That suite literally just ties to the directory name, just in case you're confused by that. And again, you can shorten this generate to just a G, because it's the only command that uses that. So we'll just go back one, and then we're going to have a quick look on the command line. So we're going to go into, we're going to create our first ones in this unit directory. I'm going to go PHP vendor Codeception, Codeception, Codecepт, and then we're going to go generate PHPUnit, and we're going to put that into the unit directory, or suite as in Codeception terminology, and we're going to call that PHPUnit, and that'll do. So it's created as our test, and then we can just download that. And you can see in here you've got a basic structure template for a PHPUnit test. So it extends the PHPUnit framework test case, and in here we can do standard stuff like this. Oh, come on now. Can't get my typing fingers on. This, assert, true, true. So there we go, a passing test. So next up we can do PHP vendor Codecepт, Codeception, Codecepт, and then we can just do G test. So this is a this is a Codeception implementation of PHPUnit, which just gives us additional stuff which we'll cover later. Unit, and then we're going to call this Codeception PHPUnit, and that's created us another test, which we can go ahead and just download. And you can see it's very similar structure, just got some additional stuff, and again everything's available. This, assert true, true. No, well, if you can spell true, it's all available. So yep, again another test file. So now we're going to go ahead and look at creating one in the functional, and we're going to go with the standard old school kind of, which is the Cept. So it's ac-Cept-ance test. So we're going to do, just for brevity's sake, we're going to do this, generate Cept, and we're going to put this into, we're going to put this in functional, why not, and we're going to call it functional test. Functional, that'll do. Now one thing to note is these can go into subdirectories. There is literally nothing stopping you at all from just putting this into, say, my sub dir, and then just moving this into there. And I do this frequently to sort of match up to the structure that you've got going on in here. So if you had in here a directory called service, then I would also create in here unit, and then one called, I'll go away, there's a little plugin that I've got installed that's annoying me. I would go in there and create literally the bundle structure again, which I'm not going to do, but then have a service directory in there, and then I would put that in there, just so that you keep it the same, if that makes sense. So it's easy to locate where your tests are basically. Let's just close it down because it's looking a little bit messy. Functional, download that. We've got this Cept. Now a Cept is the sort of standard one, the old school type approach. It's not class based, it's just all in line. As you see it is what you get, and then you've got the I like to just rename this myself normally just down to lowercase I because I'm lazy, and then you've got all these different available things which we're going to come to throughout the series. So I'm just going to quickly close that. Last one, we're going to do generate a Cest, which is like a weird combination of acceptance and test, and then we're going to do acceptance. We're going to call this my Cest. Horrible name. And we're going to put that into acceptance. So we'll just quickly download that, and we can see this one very similar, but this one is class based, so you can namespace it and whatnot if you choose to. And again, all the same functionality is available there. Execute, for example. So yeah, there we go. Those are the 4 different types of tests that we can do in in Codeception, and we will be looking at each one in a great deal more detail throughout this course.